Hi Teacher Fit, my name is Bailey, welcome. Let's get started today. It's our fourth in our Yin Chakra series. So that is our heart chakra. So we went through roots, we went through sacral, we went through our solar plexus, and now we're in our heart chakra. So if none of that matters to you and you're just here for the stretching, awesome. It works either way. So this is just extra if you enjoy that type of energetic release, connection, added benefits here. So our heart chakra is our middle chakra. It connects our lower chakras with our higher chakras. So it's a really important one. And if we can be balanced in our heart chakras, then it's a lot easier to speak our truth, to live through our creativity if we are coming from this place of love. And a lot of times that's self-love as well. So as we move through this place in our heart today, if you have anything that you're holding on to in your heart, anything that feels heavy, this doesn't have to mean romantically, just love in any way, or if you're grieving, or anything that is in your heart, and even if that's a positive thing, you know, if you have a lot of love right now, really flowing through that. So inviting anything in that you may associate as good or bad, there's none of that. It just is. So moving with your heart today as we come through these yin poses, which we're going to hold longer than normal, because that's what you do in yin poses. You're really supposed to work into your threshold of a stretch. So if you want to find the active pose first and then soften into it, you can. If you need to find this in a more restorative way, you can do that as well. I'll cue you through that as we move. But to start today, we're going to start right in our melting heart pose. So it's a pretty intense pose. I invite you to not move into it really quickly. Just kind of positioning yourself in a tabletop to start. The idea here is to keep your hips over your knees. So when you move, not moving your hips back or forward, but keeping them right on top of your knees. So there's a couple ways you can do this. Starting to stretch your hands way out in front of you, and you're going to rest your heart, your chest on the mat. Your chin may touch, your chest may touch, but the idea is to keep your hips stacked. So you're making a ski slope shape with your spine here, right? It's pretty intense. You can stay just like this. Notice what's happening in your shoulders, or grab your blocks and bring the backs of your arms onto the blocks. You can start to bring your hands to prayer behind your head as you let your forehead come down to the mat. Right? So there's a couple different ways that you can find this, but you're opening your heart. There's also a massive opening behind your heart through your shoulders. So you're really hanging here. Back bend, letting your pelvis drop, letting your tailbone roll to the ceiling. This is intense. So you're going to find your stretch here, find your shape, your position, stay. Breathe with any discomfort that you have. Wiggle your knees back if you need to keep your hips stacked right on top of them. And notice how you feel. We're going to be here for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. Sometimes 2 or 3 more minutes is a short amount of time. In this case, it may feel long. Coming into your breath, breathing in for the count of 4, if that feels good. Exhaling for the same amount of speed. And just keep moving through your breath, softening. So you're approaching this place of discomfort. That's the goal. That's the key here. Once you find that discomfort physically in your body, stay and breathe, invite it in. Notice how you react to discomfort. Don't worry about why. Just notice. It's okay if things are tingling. It's okay if things feel like you might not want to stay in this position anymore. That's part of this experience. As long as you're not feeling pain, be here. Soften your jaw and the muscles in your face. And you can even start to interlace your fingers and let your arms come overhead.
or maybe even just release altogether, stretching your arms out forward over your blocks. Soften the tops of your feet. Use your exhales to help you find some depth here. And see if you can't be here in some silence by yourself without moving as you connect back in with your breath. Beautiful. And take about 3 more long inhalations and exhalations, finding your fullest variation of the pose here. Beautiful. And if you're on blocks, you can start to lift your forehead off the mat, look forward, fingertips touch down, walk your hands back towards your body. You can start to move your blocks off to the side, sitting back on your heels. You can let your palms face up. Just take a breath here, sitting upright. And exhale. Beautiful. Hands are going to come down by your side. Let your hips fall to the right as you swing your feet out in front of you. Scoot your feet to the top of the mat if they're not already there. We're going to come into our supported fish pose. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. If you've got pillows, you can use those. If you've got bolsters, you can use those. Otherwise, grab onto your blocks and you're going to find 2 settings. So this is our small setting. This is our medium setting. Tall, right? Small, medium, tall. So tuck the small setting, press it right up against your back here, and then maybe tall or maybe medium. And you can start by lying back on the blocks like this and letting your head fall back. Your head may touch or not, and your arms can come alongside your body. So you're opening right across your chest here, from one shoulder to the other. And you can explore the way that you position your blocks. You may want it up on a higher setting, medium and tall, rather than small and medium. You choose. It kind of takes some adjusting to get this right. You want that tall block to go right in between your shoulders as you lean back. Right, and if you have bolsters, sometimes that's a little more comfortable. So as you find your shape, stay there, get cozy. And if you'd rather do this with a bolster, you can lie back that way. But you want to keep your sit bones flat and grounded. They're not hovering and they're not up on the bolster or a block. So you have this back bend, but you also have this opening across your chest, across your heart. Take a couple breaths and settle in. Letting your shoulders fall to the sides of the blocks or the bolsters. And letting this opening happen. This might be a physical opening across your chest. It might be an energetic, emotional opening through your heart. You know what you need here. If at any point you feel like you want to bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly, or both hands to your heart, and kind of interlace your hands right there across your heart chakra, you can do that. Sometimes it feels nice to imagine the color green, breathing it in, letting it swirl right around your heart chakra, the center of your chest, this pretty green color, as it cleanses and balances that chakra. You don't have to know a thing about these to still experience those energetic experiences. And take about 5 more breaths here. You can let your feet flop to the sides, release any control you have in your body, and if you're in a shape that requires more effort, just really using your breath to soften through those shapes. If you're experiencing some discomfort, allow it and welcome it. Know that it's part of this process. Breathe with it. Good, about 2 more breaths. And you can start to rock off of your props to the right a little bit. And as you move them out back behind you, you can come all the way down onto your backs and squeeze your knees into your chest. Good, let this feel good as you really start to counter those back bends. Hugging in, right? Our melting heart and our supported fish, both big back bends, big heart openers. So option here, you can either send your feet straight up, finding this waterfall position. So flex, point your toes. You can turn your ankles a little. If you want to come into your plow pose, start to press into your arms and let your feet come back overhead. If your feet touch, you can lift your arms off the mat and bring them to your hips. Give yourself a little assist as you come back a little further, right? If your feet do not touch and they're kind of hanging out in the air, press into your hands, press into your arms, and counter that. You can point, you can flex. Notice how that changes the stretch in your hamstrings, but also notice what's happening in your low back, right? And if you want to come all the way down into Deaf Man's Pose, you can let your knees come over your ears. Up to you. Taking about 5 more breaths here. You can close your eyes. Try to untuck your chin from your chest. Good. Breathing in and out. Sending the backs of your legs to the ceiling, or just falling where you fall. Notice if you have any tingles, any sensations. If this is not painful, allow it, bring it in, stay with it. Understanding the difference between pain and discomfort. Really good. Last 2 or 3 breaths. Exploring any other shapes. And when you're ready, slowly rolling out of it, 1 vertebra at a time. You can hug your knees in, give yourself a squeeze, wrap your arms around your legs. You can reach for opposite elbows here. And when you're ready, finding a happy baby. So bring the soles of your feet to the ceiling. And you can reach for the outsides or the insides of your feet. Use the strength of your arms. Pull down on your feet so that your knees come to the outsides of your body. And you can roll to the left, to the right, massaging your low back. Whatever feels good. If you want to straighten one leg, straighten the other, pedal. It's up to you. If your tailbone is really rounded and lifted up here, see how it feels to press it down. Keep it nice and flat on the mat. One isn't right or wrong, at least not in my opinion, so you choose which feels better for you. And staying here in your happy baby. So you decide how much of a hip stretch you get by the strength of your arms. So if you're just grabbing onto your feet, that's great. If you want more intensity, pull down on your feet, like your knees are a magnet towards the mat. Your arms are helping you here. You can flex your toes back towards your shins, your face. Stay in stillness or move. But notice where you feel the sensation in this stretch right here. Good. And nice and slow, start to release. Bring your knees together, hug in one last time, and then start to bring your feet flat on the mat. We're gonna find our supported bridge. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can grab onto your block, and you choose your setting, small, medium, or tall. Find it, tuck it right underneath your sacrum here, and you're there. If you'd rather use a bolster, you can start to bring that right along your low back as well. It's just a little bit more cushy. You can even stack 2 if you'd like. But keeping your hips lifted to the ceiling. And just relaxing. So if you don't experience physical effort in this pose, notice other effort. Effort to be still. Effort to create separation from your thoughts, right? So that doesn't mean ignoring them or pretending they don't exist, but that just means when they come in, they're welcomed out. You can think of breathing and purposefully inviting in your thought on your inhale. And then on your exhale, pushing it out and away. And they'll always come back, and you can always breathe them away. And the more you use your breath, the more awareness you'll find there, and the less your thoughts will appear. If there's emotional effort involved here, you might remind yourself that no feeling is final, and all of our emotions are fluid. Be with whatever emotion you're feeling right now. Notice if there's this tendency to push it away or to push it down. Sometimes inviting it in and being with it is the first step to releasing it. Letting it be seen, having a moment. Beautiful. We're here for 2.5 or so more minutes. Noticing how it feels to simply be still and silent and allow the world to happen all around you. And truly give yourself this time. I used to come to these yin classes and think, oh, there's so much other more important things that I could be doing right now. I could be taking care of this or crossing off this project on my list. I'm just laying here. And that was my effort. That was so hard for me. Because my validity as a human was based around how much I accomplished. So finding what work is an opportunity for you today. And by work, I mean internal landscape, not those chores. Really good. So when you're ready here, nice and slow, pressing into your feet, squeeze your glutes and quads as you lift your hips to the ceiling and start to remove any bolsters or blocks that you have. Move them off to the side. Good. Let your hips come all the way back down. Hug in, smush your low back into the mat. Beautiful. Taking your time here, we're gonna come into our supine twist. So you can take a traditional supine twist. You can let your knees come to the side, to the right. Arms come to a T, gaze to the left. If you wanna use those bolsters that you have today, we're gonna be here on each side for 3 or 4 minutes. You can start to bring your bolster lengthwise along your spine so that you're rolling onto it. You're leaning back on it, if that's more comfortable. You can also bring a block in between your knees, a bolster in between your knees. Sometimes that feels good. Or if you want more of a stretch, cross your left leg over your right, eagling your legs. This is called twisted root. Your legs are kind of like roots, they're all twisty. And then you choose, you can take goalpost arms, or arms can come to a T. And it does not matter what this looks like. So if you find yourself checking the screen a lot to see how should I look, I'm just giving you suggestions. So it's all, however you want to arrive in the pose, that's where you should stay. We're twisting here. But there's also this beautiful opening from our left shoulder to our right. That's right across our heart. We spend so much time leaning over, steering wheels, phones, computers, children, all kinds of things. Use this opportunity to release that from our daily lives, open through our hearts physically and emotionally. And as you do this work with your heart chakra, balancing, recentering, as you notice any emotional or energetic things that come up, just notice. You don't have to judge, just be a witness and allow it. And this year especially, it's been really hard to lead with our heart. We don't know what's going to happen next. It feels very vulnerable in the world right now, and a lot of us may be protecting that space. Let yourself feel safe enough now to open and to let down any walls, any guards that you have. Here for about 2 more minutes on this side. Noticing how you can slow the rate of your heart by way of your breath. Letting go of any tension, moving into your biggest variation of your pose, and that doesn't mean physically, it means just this true arrival into the pose. Mind, body, spirit. Really good. Starting to bring your knees back into your chest, coming back up through center. As you squeeze, hug in, and then you can move to the other side whenever you're ready. So letting your knees come to the left, arms can open up, gazing in the opposite direction. And you choose, use bolsters or not, use pillows or not, it's up to you. If you gaze in the opposite direction of your knees, you're going to find more effort. This way you're twisting from your root all the way through your sacral chakra, solar plexus, through your heart, through your throat chakra, which we'll get to, your third eye and your crown, the full length of your spine, tapping into all of those energy centers. Physically, you may notice a rebalancing of your spine, this equilibrium as you twist in the opposite direction. Energetically, you may still be working through any heart healing, letting yourself have this stillness, have this moment to exist with any emotions that you may have living in this space in your body. If there's anything that you need to forgive, maybe it's yourself, it's someone else, or an interaction, coming back to that place in our heart where we truly recognize that we're all beings that suffer, that experience pain and anxiety. And we're all having our own individual experience here on earth. So if there's anyone that's a challenge for you lately, extending some love to them. Not just for them, but for yourself. Releasing yourself from that burden of dislike. And as you're here for the next 3 minutes or so, You may visualize your heart chakra. It's right in the center of your chest, usually associated with a green color. Sometimes people see it as pink. These really pretty colors of spring. Noticing if you feel some warmth there. And as you visualize this center, notice the color of the green. What's the shade? Is it sparkly, glowy? Is it swirling? Is it small or big? Dense, floaty? Whatever comes up in your mind is what it is. No need to question it. Really good. Take about 2 or 3 more rounds of breath here, softening into the pose towards the very end. Letting go of any last bit of tension in your body. Melting, releasing. And taking your time here to come out of the pose, moving any bolsters or blocks away. Grab on to the outsides of your legs as you hug in. Press your low back into the mat. Squeeze your knees to your chest. And as slowly as you can, rock up to a seat. So you may just curl in as you press into your forearms. You can cross your legs. You can sit on a block. You might sit on your shins. Once you get to this position here, start to bring your hands to your heart. We're going to find our lotus mudra, different than Anjali mudra here. So you're pressing your thumbs into your chest softly. Press your pinkies together. Start to release your middle fingers. So as you release, you're creating this lotus flower. Your thumbs and pinkies touch, but your fingers come out. Keeping that right to the center of your chest. Close your eyes, breathe in. Breathe out. This is the mudra associated with your heart chakra. You can start to imagine breathing in from your root chakra through your sacral all the way up your spine into your heart. And then exhaling anything out and away right through your hands, through this mudra that needs to go. You can breathe in from the earth anything you want to receive. And as you exhale, send it out and away through your mudra from your heart. Anything that's stale or sticky that needs to go. Beautiful. And staying here in stillness and in silence with yourself as long as it feels appropriate for you. Or you can start to bring all of your hands together. Feeling your palms connect and touch. Breathe in. Exhale, bow down, breathe out. And palms can come to your lap. Blink your eyes open. Great work, everyone. I will see you next time for our throat chakra. Namaste.